Namaste and welcome to Urban Chatterati. This is Abhinav Prakash. And today I'm joined by Abhijit Iyer Mitra to discuss the recent incident in Ghaziabad Loni and also why alt news is actually the fake news. So, Abhijit, welcome.
Well, thanks for having me on.
So, Abhijit, what is this alt news business all about? This fact checking and using the cover of fact checking to peddle certain kind of propaganda. Is alt news fake news?
It is. Alt news is fake news, and I'll tell you why. They have violated the cardinal principle, which is fact checkers can't be reporters and reporters can't be fact checkers. Okay, you look at places like India Today and Quint. The fact checking department is kept completely separate from the reporting department. Okay, number one. Number two, when this person in question tweeted out this video, he had clearly checked the metadata of the video. Okay, why? Because he knew it was recent. Now, if you saw in the metadata it was recent, then you would also know through the metadata that it had been edited. Once you knew it was edited, it was your question to ask, why was there no audio to that? And second, when there was no audio to it, why did you not get lip readers or things like that to check if that is what was being said out there or what was being said out there? Now, had, say, a normal reporter tweeted this out, it would still be fine. This fellow is a fact checker. He's considered the be-all and end-all of fact checkers according to some people in India. Okay, which tells you the caliber of fact checking in India. And second, it also shows you that there was malign intent. Okay, because also remember, this fellow then posts a second video where this fellow, where the victim is claiming that he was made to say Jai Shri Ram. And that entire video was shot in the presence of a mullah at a completely different location, at which point it has obviously or clearly been corrupted. Okay. Now, it begs the question then, the people who relied on you, they continue to spread the fake news. Now, there should be, I believe that there should be a case against the person who spread the fake news, knowing what he or she was doing. Had a reporter done this, I would say it's very dangerous charging them with this. But this fellow is not a reporter. Okay, he's a fact checker. So he clearly had knowledge of his actions and the consequences of those actions. Right? So there's a clear case of intent out here. There is also a clear case against the platform on which it was published, Twitter, because despite the government coming out and denying it, they did not remove it or tag it as misleading. Okay, but the people who relied on him and forwarded it or retweeted it with comment or something like that, I believe that there shouldn't have been a case against them, unless when even after you know it is false, you continue to double down. And this is the case with Swara Bhaskar, for example. She knew it was false. She doubled down and then she added more lies to it, claiming that a Parvez Gujjar was actually a Pravesh Gujjar. Okay, so there have to be consequences for things like this.
Swara Bhaskar, let me interrupt you. She is a serial fake news spreader.
Look, her career isn't going anywhere.
2 or 3 years back, I remember there was JNU election. There was violence by the left against the ABVP. So in the evening, lots of ABVP people were present in the counting. She was there. She came there and she was tweeting what? I was checking her timeline. She was tweeting, the goons ABVP have entered the JNU roaming around in an open jeep with swords and sticks and whatnot. She was doing that knowing that no such thing is happening. The counting was going on peacefully. I was standing there and I'm reading her timeline and she's saying this is what is happening in JNU. So she does it deliberately.
Let's not take Swara Bhaskar very seriously. She's a sad, pathetic joke. Poor girl, she's always been like a lowly paid D-rate actor who's trying to upgrade to either the B category or the C category or the A. A तो इसके भाग्य में नहीं, ठीक है ना? पर say at least B or C category, वो भी इसको नहीं मिल रहा है. Okay. So she is desperate because this acts as a PR arm. She doesn't make enough to hire a full-time PR agency to do her PR for her. So she has to do all of this. All the big actors hire PR firms. And those even marginally decent actors hire PR firms, which will deliberately put out fake news. They will be like, is ABC actress cheating on his wife with XYZ actress? Everybody in the equation knows that it is false. Okay, ABCD knows it's false. ABCD's wife knows it's false. XYZ knows it's false. But mind you, in Bollywood, even XYZ will agree to have it released. And ABCD's wife will also accept its release. Why? Because it gets publicity for ABCD, ABCD's wife, and XYZ, which increases your visibility and therefore, a higher chance of landing your next project. Okay. She's so badly paid that she can't even do that. So she has to rely on Twitter to do all of this. So let's forget her. She was, is, and remains a sad, pathetic joke. I just brought her in to show you the amusement value of all of this. The original crime lies with the person who tweeted it. And now, because of the shifting of intermediary laws, the loss of protection to Twitter with the platform itself, Twitter. Okay. They have also, mind you, Twitter has not refused to take down blatant vaccine misinformation peddled by a Congress spokesperson. They have not taken down all the further lies that have been spread out by this Swara lady. Right. So it is, they are doubling down on this. So let us focus on who tweeted it, why he tweeted it, and the platform that allowed it. And mind you, this isn't the first time that the tweeter has deleted his tweet. He's done this about 10, 12 times in the past. No? There's several of his tweets that he deletes.
So he's a repeat offender. But Abhijit, what exactly is this alt news, by the way? What they're trying to achieve, what they do? I mean, are they fact checker to begin with?
No, they're an extortion agency. What they do is they also threaten and extort every other fact checker. Okay, they basically try to show that they are the only ones that are the true fact checkers. Everybody else is fake and whatever, and somehow sold out or compromised. And therefore, they are the flag bearers of it. And basically, the thing is, please understand, this is not about, do you remember when I had tweeted out that one of the founders of this fact-checking agency was in the Times of India office? He then tweeted out something very curious. He said, I wasn't in the Times of India office yesterday, so it is a lie. But 10 tweets down, he says, yes, we were in talks with Times of India, but we realized it was mutually not, we were not mutually compatible. What Times of India tells me privately is that this fellow wanted a heck of a lot of money just to shut up and not target Times of India. Okay, it has to be made worth their while. So you look at their entire pattern in what they tweet. It is not in what they put in their RAG. It is what they tweet. They use Twitter as the medium of extortion. So technically Twitter, and because, lots of Twitter staff are on first name basis and they are on WhatsApp contact with members of this news agency, so-called news agency, fact-checking agency, whatever it is. So they actually allow they allow their platform to be weaponized and used as a tool of extortion.
So,
right. Because blue ticking is what? Every Sasta fact checker who joins this agency is immediately given blue ticks. Everybody else, it takes a very long time. Tell me, how is it Aisha Ghosh gets a blue tick within 1 day of getting attacked? How is it that Shaila Rashid is allowed to violate Twitter's terms of service, where her first account has been permanently suspended? She's allowed to operate a second account and given a blue tick. Do you understand? So Twitter is actively aiding and abetting criminality in India in addition to violating their own policies. So you know that statement they made in front of the parliamentary committee yesterday, Indian law is important, but so are our own policies. Why do they violate their own policies?
Today,
I think there is a very serious need to seize the phones of all these Twitter employees in India and go through the entire WhatsApp chats. SMSs, Signal, Telegraph, everything. Okay, because this is clear collusive behavior that is happening out there.
Yeah. I have already uploaded a video of my discussion with Tejasvi Surya. He's part of the committee on the IT and other thing. So he told me on the in the discussion, the podcast, that the Twitter actually accepted in the front of the committee that they promote certain kind of desirable conversation and demote other kind of conversation. They did not explain what is the criteria, what is the definition, but they do promote, they do intervene actively to promote certain kind of narrative. So if you're seeing the narrative of Bharat Biotech vaccine being made up of calf and all those things, or in this case the Loni attack, that is definitely being pushed by the.
So tell me, how is anti-vaxxer propaganda unhealthy in America but healthy in India?
Same way that attack on Red Fort is freedom of expression and political right, and violence on Capitol Hill is not.
And this is what amazes me about this government, that when you have a clear case, you still do nothing. This is, this is the problem of this brown inferiority complex to our white slave masters. The British may have left 70 years back, but they still dance on our brains.
But what has to be done with the fact checkers now? Because they're not fact checkers. We see their propaganda, and they also lie about their, association with different other agencies as well, right? If I'm not wrong.
They coordinate with the Congress party, boss. If you look at their own, if you look at their own explanation of that Congress toolkit and how it was done, mind you, there are other ideological sites as well, like factcheck.in and Boom Live, and I don't know, there are so many of them these days. It's Quint, for example, Quint Fact Check. They're all blatantly ideological. But not one of them came and did the kind of goalpost shifting tamasha on that Congress toolkit. That why is it that only Alt News did that fact check and nobody else did? Now, the co-founder of this will go on Twitter and claim that's because he's the only uncorrupted fact checker. Everybody else is sold out. And if Boom Live or Quint Fact Check get a contract, he will attack the people funding Quint or Boom Live, saying you are Ambani's stooge, Adani's stooge. No, that's what they do. Understand that entire Freethinker Twitter handle and that Zubair Twitter handle, they are run as extortive handles. They are attack handles.
So why is no one filing a complaint if they're extorting money? And what can the
Because it's not extortion in the way we understand it. See, it isn't a thug going up saying "Sale mere ko paise de." It is implicit.
Implicit. Can the government do anything about it?
How? See, there's no actual. What are you going to prove?
Who are the people funding these people? Alt News.
Extortion. It's an extortion business.
So basically, we can't even now rely on the fact checkers. This is the bottom line. We can't rely on the news.
I think you really need to go down to who all have interacted with, propagated, or supported Alt News in the past. I think that will give you a very, very clear map of what the nexus is and who these people are. Okay. It's very clear.
If it's clear.
My issue in all of this is, like we've discussed in another podcast about how sophisticated the French are with their legal thinking and what a joke legal thinking in India actually is. I think this FIR that the police have lodged against Wire, against Arfa Khanum Sherwani, against Shama Mohammed, They've screwed their own case over. I think they did it deliberately so that they will have talking points and drag it on for the next 3, 4, 5 years, whatever. But they won't take any action. Because I can tell you right now, it is legally wrong for Wire, Sharma, Arafat to be charge sheeted in this. They were depending on a certain thing that they clearly trust. You can't be penalized for trusting someone. Okay, that's not the way things work. Why? Because this fellow claimed that he's a fact checker. And their defense now is that he is being persecuted for putting out the victim's point of view. Mind you, a coerced victim's point of view, clearly in the presence of a mullah, where the original audio does not support his claims. Begging the question again.
Not a mullah. But
why was the audio removed?
Party. Not a mullah, but the leader of the Samajwadi Party.
Leader of the Samajwadi Party. Why was the audio manipulated? Okay, so there are lots of issues in it, but tackling these kind of sleaze is quite outside the intellectual capabilities of the Indian government at the moment. You see, because they don't have very sophisticated thinking on anything.
But Abhijit, my final point, my final question to you is, if we want to counter the fake news, and it's very much prevalent, you have the fake headlines as well. You read the newspapers, the headline is also fake or gives a different impression.
You need legal and governmental intervention. Please understand.
What kind of legal intervention?
Legal intervention in terms of fake news laws. In terms of clarity on who can be prosecuted and who can't be prosecuted. I think the way this FIR has been filed against Wire, Arfa and Sharma and people like that, they've scored an own goal as it is. Okay, you can't penalize forward transmission of the original crime. But the original crime has to be punished. So on one hand, you've diluted the case. And in diluting the case, you've destroyed your case. Because there was a cast iron case against the fellow Jabbar or whatever he is, Jabbar and Twitter. But they've spread the case, they've diluted it, they've destroyed it because they've shifted the goalposts. I personally think there must have been collusion between Alt News and whoever decided to file this case in the UP police, because it's been deliberately done to tank the case.
So Alt News in collusion with everyone, but that's
mind you, UP police is notorious for this. They've been playing. There are different factions within the UP police playing off against each other and things like that. We've known this for a very long time. One person will issue a statement, and some other. We've seen that with that Twitter handle. Remember, they once tweeted out something, then somebody else contradicted it and things like that. I forget what the issue was. So there are many people, multiple people running their own Twitter handles.
Okay, yeah. But anyways, Abhijit,
there is no system of logging in. There isn't even a system of biometric or finger identification of who has the passwords to the Twitter handles, who logs in, and who is responsible for doing something.
And that's the case with the police.
And when you have a government that is clueless about its own ecosystem and who opposes it, you will have multiple factions around. They might not even be opposing you. It might actually be two completely different factions who support you going off at each other.
Okay, Abhijit, on that note, thanks a lot. And thank you for your time. And thank you, audience, for listening to us. Please subscribe to the channel and see you soon.
Well, very well.